So I've made it pretty clear on a few videos that Madara Uchiha is hands down the highlight for me during the war arc, which up until he debuted in the fall of 2011, I was growing really bored with the war arc chapters. Since I've already covered the few other Uchiha clan members in the True Power series, it's only time that I take time out to look at the true power of Madara Uchiha, the character who I will forever go to my grave stating that he single-handedly saved the final act of Naruto's manga. So with that being said, I will be keeping my bias for Madara Uchiha out of the way since this is an opinion video. So let's just start with the obvious. Even without being the 10 Tails Jinchuriki, Madara was freaking powerful. Anytime you can say the only person who was stronger than you when you were still alive was Hashirama Senju, you're in a pretty elite class. In fact, Madara by himself pretty much tore down the key cliche of the Naruto franchise, being that the next generation of shinobi will surpass the previous ones, since Madara had been dead for decades, and upon his revival via Edo Tensei, he was dismantling the 4th division of the Shinobi Alliance. In the manga, his first attack was a fire-style jutsu that was so powerful it took several dozens of water-style users to block his attack, and then Madara proceeded to run through the Shinobi Alliance with only taijutsu. On top of having all 5 changes in chakra nature, Madara was also in possession of multiple Kekkei Genkai. He obviously had the Sharingan and the Rinnegan, but he also had Wood Release and Storm Release. Storm Release is a Kekkei Genkai created by combining lightning and water changes in chakra nature. Madara also has mastery over Yin and Yang Release, and when he becomes the 10 Tails Jinchuriki, Madara also has mastery over Yin Yang Release, which allows him to create the True Seeking Orbs. On top of being skilled with multiple changes in chakra nature, Madara's mastery over weapons tools shows that he was absolutely a true warrior in every sense of the word. He was shown being able to effectively wield a scythe, a chained scythe, a weighted chain, swords, and even has a fan that's powerful enough to reflect back a Rasengan from KCM2 version of Naruto Uzumaki. As a mere child, Madara killed several grown adults of the Senju clan. Just the mention of his name brought fear into the hearts of the 5 great nations decades after his battle with Hashirama Senju, and this is for a really good reason. It took several members of the Akatsuki, all powerful ninja in their own rights, working together in conjunction to seal away the Biju locked away inside the Jinchurikis. This process took 3 days for each Jinchuriki to be sealed away, with every member of the Akatsuki helping out. Madara was able to seal away all of the Biju while extracting the 8 and 9 tails from Naruto and Killer Bee. What would have taken the Akatsuki 27 days, roughly an entire month to do, Madara was able to do casually in only a few moments. On a side note, this also speaks to the power of Hashirama Senju, who was stated to have multiple tailed beasts under his control right before he gave them away to the other great nations. Madara's chakra reserves when he were alive were on a completely different level. Madara in chapter 624 was shown being able to fight non-stop at a high level for over 24 hours straight. Even when he was much older and much weaker, Madara still had enough chakra to summon the Gedo statue from the moon. Complicated ninjutsu was nothing to Madara Uchiha, who was able to use complex ninjutsu with only one hand. Further adding to his genius is the fact that Madara had no prior training in Sage Mode, and yet when he absorbed the chakra from Hashirama, he used it as if he'd been training for years to learn Sage Mode. Madara's chakra control was great enough that he perfectly distributed chakra among 25 wood clones to fight all 5 Kages, all of them being equipped with a Susanoo. If Madara's taijutsu clinic against the 4th division wasn't an indication of his power and skill, the fact that Madara was able to speed blitz Sage Mode Naruto on a few occasions show you just how deadly Madara is when he uses his speed. When he used Sage Mode's buff, Madara was able to stare down all 9 Biju, and then he even casually dodged Tobirama's Flying Thunder God slash attack. Madara's ninjutsu is also really impressive, with him being able to travel underground at speeds that rivals Zetsu, who, just for clarification, is confirmed to be able to travel faster than Obito's Kamui, and he can even hide himself within the battlefield itself depending on the jutsu that he uses. Also, Madara's sensory skills are the most underrated aspect of his character, being able to sense chakra from multiple countries away, and even sense the clan a person's from, since their Kekkei Genkai, and even before he got Sage Mode, Blind Madara was able to do damage on the battlefield, all while he was getting reaccustomed to his living body. Madara's Sharingan also gives him mastery over the Eye of Hypnotism, which allows for Sharingan Genjutsu, but the Eye of Insight also allows him to foresee movements by reading the slightest muscle tensions of his enemy, and it allows him to copy ninjutsu and even finish ninjutsu before the wielder is finished weaving the hand signs. His Mangekyo Sharingan ability was never directly confirmed in the manga, but if we go by the Naruto Ninja Escapades OVA that Kishimoto wrote, Madara's Mangekyo Sharingan ability was revealed to be a partial time manipulation, allowing him to rewind time for a few seconds after an event happened and change the outcome, with the only exception being a killing blow. Madara's Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan gives him perfect Susanoo, which casually sliced several mountains, but most dangerous of all is his Rinnegan. Madara has mastery over all 6 Rinnegan paths, allowing him to absorb chakra and rip out souls with ease. When Madara has both of his Rinnegan, he can produce his Limbo clones that are invisible to the normal eye and can attack the enemy unforeseen while Madara is in battle. His Rinne Sharingan awakens on his forehead and allows him to cast the Infinite Tsukiyomi Jutsu on the moon. Being the strongest Uchiha of his time, Madara also knew the secret Uchiha Jutsu, being Izanagi and Izanami, which allows him to either cast his enemy in an infinite loop or rewrite reality itself. When Madara became the Ten Tails Jinchuriki, the massive boost in power that Madara got was absolutely insane. Madara was already powerful, but this buff was another walking cheat code for Madara. Only the 8th gate version of Guy was able to push Madara to his limits, and even then, Madara was able to hold off Might Guy, whose attacks were powerful enough that they were bending the airspace around them. When Naruto got his Sage of Six Paths mode, Madara was still able to hold him off, though you could argue that Sage of Six Paths mode Naruto, with the QB Chakra mode stacked on top of it, was giving Madara a harder time, though I'll leave that to you guys to decide down in the comment section below. Now, Jinchuriki Madara also has use of the Truth-Seeking Orbs, which he can either use to attack or defend, or he can even create weapons that are rooted in the Yin Yang release. His mastery over sealing ninjutsu is also really impressive, with Madara placing a cursed seal on both Obito and Ren's hearts, and those seals were timed to go off at the discretion of Madara. What's craziest is despite all of this information, we still haven't gotten to what makes Madara so deadly. To be blunt, the sheer variations of his ninjutsu is what makes Madara so damn dangerous. Evil Disturbance is used when Madara is in his Susanoo. Madara essentially throws his Susanoo sword at his enemy in the same manner as a shuriken. Just the sheer force of this attack is strong enough that it can cut through a Biju bomb with other ease. Fire style, Dragon Flame Song Jutsu shoots several dragon-headed fireballs at his enemy. Madara shoots this attack to cut off all manner of escape for his target, hitting them from all sides with more power than a normal Dragon Flame Jutsu. Fire style Great Annihilation Jutsu is Madara's very first attack when he attacked the 4th Division in the manga, and the sheer force of this attack required dozens of ninja to attack with water style jutsu just to balance it off. Used to its fullest extent, Madara can shoot out a sea of fire to overtake an entire battlefield. Majestic Flame Destroyer Jutsu is a jutsu that Madara uses when he's in his Susanoo, and the sheer power that's unleashed when Madara attacks from above against his enemy, and he quickly engulfs the area with flames. When it's used to its fullest extent by Madara, Madara is being stated to be able to incinerate his target. The Great Flower Flame Jutsu is used when Madara shoots several fireballs at his enemy from above, causing them to rain down on the enemy. This jutsu was shown being able to incorporate enough power that it was able to incinerate earth-style barriers and vaporize water-style attacks upon impact. The amount of force that this attack hits is comparable to a small meteor falling down on the battlefield. Hiding in the Ash Jutsu allows Madara to use Fire Chakra to create smoke bombs to hide his presence on the battlefield by creating a thick blanket of ash to sweep across the battlefield. Storm Release Light Fang Jutsu is a quite powerful attack by Madara Madara, as well as one that is very popular when it comes to power scalers, and this is an attack that is used by Jinchuriki Madara that travels at light speed. The sheer power that this attack has is enough to destroy a truth-seeking orb. Madara fires this attack from his mouth, and being stated in Databook 4 as being faster than light. Sage Art Lightning Shadow Jutsu combines Yin release and nature energy to create an attack that Madara fires off from his palms in the form of purple lightning bolts. While this is mainly used as an attack to capture the opponent, it can also be used as an offensive attack. When Madara weaves hand signs in conjunction with his Susanoo, Madara can also summon meteors from space to attack his enemy. Finally, his wood release jutsu can attack the enemy from a distance using the Wood Dragon Jutsu, or he can trap them in place using the wood release World of Trees Jutsu, or he can kill them in a very subtle way using the wood style Advent of Flowering Trees. This is when he creates a forest that produces flowers that can create enough pollen that when used in its weakest state is able to knock the enemy unconscious, but it can also be used to kill the enemy. Well guys, that's it for this video. As you guys can tell, Madara was truly a jack of all trades when it came to ninjutsu and genjutsu. Now, you guys see why Kishimoto stated towards the end of the Naruto series that Madara had become too powerful, and that during the break that the manga took, Kishimoto had to meet with his editor to come up with a way to defeat Madara, because by Kishimoto's own words at the time, Madara was the exception to the rule that every ninja had a weakness, but Madara Uchiha had no weaknesses, and he said that in order to tell the story that he wants to tell, in order for us to get to Naruto versus Sasuke, Madara had to be defeated, which leads to a lot of people thinking this is why Kage was created, but that's another video for another day. As a question to you guys, I want to know down in the